Attention bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn. So please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen!
Welcome back, Yodelers. I'm here with my siblings,
Jackie.
Peter, and I'm Japheth. And today's topic in this podcast is our nostalgia Disney childhood cartoons. And so we're revisiting these old cartoons we grew up watching either early morning on Saturday or right after school.
Or even Saturday morning.
Yeah, Saturday morning. So
Yeah.
get those Saturday morning PJs on, or take off that old school backpack and ignore that homework. And let's watch some cartoons, and we're going to discuss, what's good, what's bad, and other topics within. So, did everyone do their homework this week, which was to watch some Disney cartoons?
It was so hard to watch cartoons as an adult now. Yes, I watch cartoons.
Yes, I watched many and experimented many with my kids to see which ones they would capture their interest and things like that. So that was very interesting for me to see what came about from that.
Because they're really at the age when you were watching the cartoons I was watching, which is a lot of these cartoons that I've been watching lately. So I'll explain to the yodelers out there, our audience. Every day I'll watch 2 cartoons from my childhood. So I have 14 cartoons that I'm cycling through in a week, and whenever I watch one episode. So I've been doing this during the whole epidemic. Since I have more time being at home, I can do this in the morning, and so I've been just on this binge of watching these cartoon shows, really, and just seeing which ones are holding up, and that's really the inspiration for this episode. So the first question I've got, since everyone has done their homework, and I've been continuously doing this homework, Jackie, what are the 3 cartoon shows that you have enjoyed as an adult?
So, of course, Recess is one of my top 3s.
That's a great show.
It's such a good show, and it just, throws back to, when you were on recess, and, you played those, games on the playground, and, you had different roles. So it was just fun to, connect. Mm-hmm. And, as a kid, I loved it. I think I watched every episode, at least 3 times. I watched all the reruns.
I watch it, and my wife is always like, how do you remember this? And I'm like, how do you not remember this? This is so great.
Very memorable show. A lot of great one-liners, like Wompy Womperson.
Yes, those Womps!
I love how there's this core group, and for those who don't know the show, it starts off in this school playground playing The Great Escape, the movie music theme.
Yeah.
And so you already get the sense that these kids are trapped and they have to do this scheme, almost like an Ocean's 11 kind of escape in order to get what they want. So the intro has the integral part of this plan to get a dodgeball or a kickball. And so it sets the tone for the whole show, because each week you have that kind of what's the scheme or what's the problem. And so you have 6 different characters, and there's always something different. And they're great because they split them up into 2 separate shows.
Oh, yeah.
It's one episode has 2 different stories.
Yes.
So it's 15 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'm not too invested in it.
Right.
And it's fun.
They're just short little clips of episodes, and you're satisfied after each one. You're like, okay. And there's no order you have to watch it. You can watch it any episode, really.
Yeah. It's like a Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I like that. And I never realized it until I was watching the show again, and the way I say scandalous, it's just like the Ashley.
Scandalous!
It's just great.
Yes.
And like you said, you think about our own childhood recess, and look, we didn't have the Diggers, we didn't have Upside Down Girl.
But I always wanted to be a swinger.
You want to
girl.
be
I
a
wanted
swinger
the,
girl?
The swinger, yes. I was always on the swings. I was like, I'm going to make it over the post.
Do you guys remember when it had, like, our school had, like, the manual ones?
It was like this weird, like,
it was a cage.
And you had cage with, like, arm pull swings. Like, it was the... But it was really cool because I like playing Star Wars, so it felt like I was in, like, a cockpit. Like, yeah!
Didn't have that, and it would, like, squeak, like...
Oh, yeah, they would squeak. And you would never touch them in Arizona because they were scalding hot, and you would die if you were to jump into that in the middle of summer. You're just like, oh, my skin's falling off.
I do remember that. And they have these different cliques, and so you don't necessarily have those characters, those same characters, but there were similar groups throughout your own recess, experience, and so
very relatable.
It is relatable.
Yes.
My wife didn't like it growing up, but she watches it now, and she's like, "Oh, this is a great show. This is so good." I'm like, "Yes." So for me, it was like it's my number one.
Yeah.
And so it's good to hear that all three of us really see what's good. So
I love that one, and like it was hard for me to like narrow it down to 3. I didn't put on my top 3 because I knew it would be in one of your guys' because it was that good of a show.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, Jackie, what's another one you got?
Kim Possible.
Oh yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah, I was watching.
Still holds up.
And, like, I was glued to the TV. I followed the storyline. You see Kim Possible's mustache or
her upper lip.
Her upper lip mustache. Yes.
That's right. They like a weird shading
Yes.
thing with that animation style.
Yeah, and like Ron Stoppable.
Yes, from the voice actor is plays
Will Friedle.
Will Friedle, who is Eric from Boy Meets World, which is another show that we all love.
We love
dearly.
And I still love the Nick and Mole rap.
The rap song.
The rap song. The Nick and Roll.
Well, what's
Mole
the rap
rap
song? I don't know.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
I told you be prepared.
Let's see if I can pull it out. Let's see here. And then it's like, here's a story. How Ron met Rufus. Oh man, it's a rap, so I'm not very good at rap. So
you're asking the wrong people to rap.
If it's a legit song, I can get along with it. But raps are just kind of like you got the small groupings that it's hard to.
I don't know. It's just a fun character,
Yeah.
And it's like all the characters are just fun, and it's just so funny because she's all like fighting crime, and her parents are totally chill with it. They're like, "Oh, good job for being that bad guy," and then she's like going to school in the daytime. It's just like something like I think as like a kid, like if I watched an action movie or something related to Spy Kids.
I was wondering if you were going to say Spy Kids.
Like, if you watch Spy Kids and you're like, once you watch those type of movies, you're like, I'm totally like one of those kids fighting crime. And then you see Kim Possible kind of take on that role of going to school and fighting crime. It's just kind of fun.
Did you watch the live action movie yet?
No.
I just saw that there was one. It has the
Yeah.
characters are like the actors from the Goldbergs.
Yeah.
It made me cringe just seeing the picture of Ron. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared to watch it, to be honest.
Love the Goldbergs, but I just can't. I probably couldn't break the characters away.
It's difficult, to watch it in the sense of like because you like the show, the original show so much, you have to like disconnect and realize that like it's technically the same character, but they are being portrayed differently, and you have to get your mindset out of that before you can really enjoy it. So, what's your number 3?
The Lilo and Stitch, where they try to find Stitch's siblings.
Oh,
Cousins.
yeah, that's
Cousins.
really cool because there's like 100 of them.
Yes, and so that was really fun, and it made
625.
Wow. Plenty of episodes there.
Yeah, so it's fun because you can still experience those like lovable like alien characters that you had in the movie, and it still brings over. And it was just like it was a cartoon that like I can sit, enjoy, and be happy with now. Yeah. And then it also reminded me. This is when we had dial-up, really slow internet connection, right? and there was a Disney Channel, like, at the time, I don't know if they still have games on Disney Channel, but they would have games on the Disney Channel website, and one of
I remember this.
and one of the games was,
The Sandwich Maker?
yeah, the Sandwich Maker. It was the Sandwich Maker. It was, like, my favorite game to play because it also worked on the internet.
So what the Sandwich game was, it was like one of those, like, stacking games. So you're trying to, like, make your sandwich, but the items are falling on the top of the screen at different locations. So you're moving from side to side.
You didn't want, like, rotten food on your stack.
Correct. And so you're trying to create as many ingredients as you could on your sandwich to get the high points. So
Yeah, so
I remember that.
it was a game I played a lot.
I do remember that.
I was never this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. All right, Peter. Top 3, or what are your top ones that you enjoyed?
I enjoyed. First one I'll list off was one of the first ones that I watched when Disney Plus came out, and that was Brain Spankin' New Doug.
Really?
Yes.
I've been watching
Really?
Doug, so what do you got?
It is.
Let him
That's
finish.
fine. That's fine. You can have that opinion, but
It's meant for boys.
yeah, totally. So like I loved that show growing up. Like I just felt Doug was a very relatable character to me, and so I sympathized with him and I understood him. You know, I tried watching the Nickelodeon series, which was there was
It's the first.
the first part, which is like him in like elementary school, and then Disney bought the rights, and then that's when you got Brain Spankin' New Doug. And so I don't know, I just think it's very fun, and you get to hear the band from the Beats, Killer Tofu.
I need more money. I know.
Yeah.
I need more allowance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Beats were so fun. Like I even remember they had a show at Disney World when we went in 2000. They had a little stage show.
I don't remember this.
You don't remember?
Not
Oh man,
at
I
all.
remember. It was so good. And so like I agree that the movie, like Doug's first movie or whatever,
I saw that.
that wasn't very good.
I love
But-
you, Daddy. I love you too, Doug.
But like I just love the rest of the show. Like I enjoyed it.
I've slowly warmed up to it.
Quail Man. Love
Yeah,
Quail Man.
Quail Man. I have not seen. Yeah, the earlier ones they haven't brought Quail Man in yet, but
It's when you get to season 3, they do like
they start bringing them in.
it's like almost like a
All
huge
Quail.
section of them are all Quail Man episodes. It's like okay.
Yeah, I've been watching Doug more, and I'm appreciating like, oh, there were some really good messages in here.
Yes.
That's what, as an adult, that's what trying to drive me towards these characters. Like, what are they trying to convey to us in our childhood? Like, what messages? And Doug has some really good ones.
Yeah, like it's not like the most action-packed, exciting. Like it's a pretty mellow and tame show, but I just love how one of the things I just love about the show is how Doug overanalyzes everything.
He does.
And it's so funny. I'm so like, you know, like he'll like
Positive and negative.
positive and negative. The negative ones are the funniest ones because like he'll do something like silly, like he'll get a C or he'll get an F on a test, and then Patty will come up and be like, "Oh, you're not smart. I hate you, Doug.
You're a loser. Get away. Those are hilarious. Or if I do this. Like, oh, Doug, you're so great. I know, Patty. Like, that's like he'll get into this hair braid scheme.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The fantasy Doug is, the fantasy cats are great.
So the next one that I liked getting into now was Gargoyles. Oh, I love me some Gargoyles.
Both of you loved Gargoyles. As a kid, I hated it because I was scared of it. It was a scary show.
Yeah, it was a dark show.
It's a dark. I think they were trying to do. I think it came out during prime time. They did it during the evening at first. They were trying to make it like a cartoon for kids and adults to watch together with the type of themes, like an older cartoon.
And then I think they pushed it back to Disney Afternoon.
They did.
But it's so good because there's just like so much like mythology behind it, like actual like ancient like English, knights and all that stuff. Like it's
Bring
like
Macbeth in there.
yeah, Macbeth shows up and
The-
Avalon.
The Avalon
and
storyline was good.
that was a crazy. Like when you start getting to like that season, it's like okay. And
I'm
of
building up
course-
to it where it's like, okay, you're like ebb and flowing here, and then I know Avalon's coming, and they're like, oh, we're just gonna go on time.
Oh yeah, they go crazy. There's the I love Xanatos.
He's a great villain.
He's a great villain.
So for those who don't know what gargoyles is, they're, everyone's seen gargoyles on top of like churches and castles. Well, these gargoyles were on a Scottish castle, and they were cursed to where they will not wake up until they are in the clouds, correct? Or above the clouds.
There was a curse placed upon these gargoyles that they were to sleep until the castle would be above the clouds.
Yes, and normally gargoyles would come to life
At
night to like vampires in that way.
Something like that.
Something like that, without the blood sucking. And
Yeah.
then Xanatos knows this like mythology, and he puts this castle they were on top of his skyscraper in like Manhattan, New York, and they come back to life, and then the story goes on from there, and it's just good. It's not like, oh, we got this problem, let's go back here. It builds, and you get more personality. As you can tell, this is one of my top ones. So
Yes, it's there's a lot of story. There's a lot of like there's something to follow along. So like it's very enjoyable. I like that one a lot. And the last one, there's so many good ones. So I have to think about ones that I'm willing to go and sit and watch again. And Quack Pack.
really,
Yes, Quack Pack is a Donald Duck sort of show where it's just what you would expect with a show with Donald Duck. Just Donald Duck and his nephews and his girlfriend Daisy and their crazy adventures. And it's slightly different than your typical DuckTales show or whatnot. But like it's a fun, goofy show, and I love Donald Duck. Donald Duck is a enjoyable character to watch regardless. So
he's not boring.
No, he's not boring. And the show is interesting, and Huey, Dewey, and Louie have different voice actors. You can actually understand them. And Daisy is less annoying in this show. So
That's good. All right, my top three. Recess is number one.
Yep.
We discussed that. Number 3 was Gargoyles, so I'll talk about number 2, Hercules.
Oh, such a good one.
It takes the fun. I mean, Hercules is my 5 Mickey bars. It comes on, I gotta stop what I'm doing and watch it, and then they just made it into a cartoon. Let me say this, please Disney, fix the quality of it.
That's what kind of like
It's
pushed
atrocious.
me over. Is the animation is really, really bad.
Yeah.
It's. I wish they would fix that. But the stories are fun. So it
Yes.
takes the fun. It takes the period of Hercules in school. So when he's like,
A teenager.
yeah, it's teenage years, and so you have a new adventure, a new monster, a new like teenage, anxiety, and I really like it. They bring in new characters. Like I like Icarus.
Oh, I love Icarus. He is so good.
He's
one of my
positive.
favorite characters in that show.
Yes, he is one of mine. I put on my list. And Cassandra, she brings it back down.
She's sweet
she's
sometimes.
fine.
a monotone.
The entire city will be destroyed and everyone will die. Yeah, let's get out of here.
The deadpan humor is great.
Yes.
And Hades is fun. You got Pain and Panic coming there.
Yeah.
You get more of the gods. You get different gods interacting with
Yes.
Hercules, and that's what's fun. It like builds upon a great movie.
Aphrodite,
Mhm.
Aphrodite.
And you got Phoebe doing the voice. That's what's fun is listening to the voices going, oh, that's that celebrity, and oh, that's Regis Philbin, and that's what was fun to watch that show.
There were a lot of celebrity cameos in that show.
There were. All right, so let's move quickly on to Dark Horse. What was surprise? What was a surprise show that you're like, I don't know, and then you watch it, and you're like, it's so good.
I'll tell you mine. The Mighty Ducks.
I've been watching that too.
I was just all like, I go, this is gonna be dumb.
The intro's horrible.
Oh, the intro's horrible. And then you watch it and you go, you know what? There's some substance here. Like, it was, so it definitely surprised me. It made me go, okay, I can occasionally put this on. Like, this didn't seem as bad as I thought it was going to be.
So the premise of Mighty Ducks is, explain it, Peter.
Basically, these ducks who come from an alien planet track down this evil villain who is basically
Draconis,
yes.
played by the voice actor of Tim Curry.
Yes, it's Tim Curry.
He's a great villain voice.
Yes, and they track him down. And they're trying to stop him because they basically enslaved their entire home planet, but they're stuck on Earth in the chase, and so they love hockey, so they inhabited the Anaheim Arena, where they did kind of make a reference to Disneyland in one of the first episodes. They just said, the theme park's on the other side of the freeway. So,
Which is true.
It's just true. It is just right there.
And all these monsters are destroying Anaheim. And you're just
Don't even mention Disneyland. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, the premise is yeah.
It's like 26 episodes, and they're like,
Yeah.
nope, that's it. No more.
It did not do very well successfully. It wasn't very successful, but it definitely surprised me and go, okay, there's actually like some substance here. Yeah, you've got crazy talking alien ducks that
He's like
everyone's okay with.
Oh, the alien duck. Yeah, that was weird. Everyone's accepting of
okay
that.
with like, oh yeah, we've got alien ducks that play hockey. You know, whatever.
They're just good at hockey, and so
Yeah.
that's what's good. So if you're an alien race, be good at a sport. You know, not too good where you dominate it, but just be like good enough where fans can get behind you. So, all right. That was your Jackie. Do you have one that surprised you?
Winnie the Pooh
Yes.
cartoon.
That's a really good
is
one.
a really cute cartoon. Like when I went back to watch it, I was like, oh, it's probably like super kiddie, super young, but it was just so fun.
It holds up.
It holds up.
If you're a fan of Winnie the Pooh,
I love the
you'll be
character
great with
of
it.
Winnie the Pooh. He's so funny, like his characteristics. It's just fun because like you get more time to get to know your favorite Winnie the Pooh characters and their adventures. It was like I watched the one episode where when Christopher Robin brings like Piglet, Tigger, and Pooh to watch a scary movie, and like Piglet's overcoming to the scary monster, and it was just really fun. It was just like
The music's great. Like they've got these like random songs that get thrown out there, and like it's not just like in one episode. Like it's in like almost every episode. They have like a new original song that goes with it, and so like it's
and they're
really
catchy
good.
songs.
Yeah, they're very
I was
catchy
like,
songs.
wow, I need to like look up these songs and try to download them because they're really catchy.
Wow. I'm surprised by that. That's one of my ones that don't hold up for me.
Okay.
So we'll get on that. Mine is Gummy Bears. There's a good lore behind like the Gummy Bears and the Gummy Glen, how they used to be with humans and they're turned away, and now they're basically like this survivalist group that have to stay hidden, but they have to stay there because other gummy bears that escape may come back here. And so as I've been watching, it really builds, and you're just, at first I was like, but I'm getting to like this, and they have got a good villain with Duke Igathorn. I like him. He's got a great voice. It's this nasally, it's got this good nasally voice. And each gummy has their own unique personality. You'll hear Tigger's voice in one of them. Yeah. As you watch these shows, you're like, Jim Cummings is in every cartoon.
Yes, he is.
He is.
You look up Jim Cummings and you look at the list of all the characters that he has voiced, and it'll blow your mind. You're like, what?
Yes.
What? Like he has done like hundreds of different characters. Like that would be, I would suggest our audience to go and look up the IMDb for Jim Cummings and look up everything that he's voiced and, like, be blown away with everything that he's voiced. Like, it is crazy.
Yes, he has had an influence on, you know, this millennial generation's cartoons. And, you know, that's a name that
Cartoons,
I wanted to throw that out
games,
there.
and
Yes.
movies, yeah.
So, yeah, and I like I said, the overall larger arc of the Gummy Bears. I thought it wasn't going to be that great. I was like, oh, I don't know, but I watched it and I was like, oh, I'm actually looking forward to this. So I have that with my Gargoyles. So I have this kind of...
I didn't give that one a chance because I didn't really grow up watching that one necessarily. And so, like, I put on the first episode, and then my son was just making so much noise, so I wasn't really being able to pay attention to it. And so I was like, you know what? I've got all these other shows I need to
There's a
focus
lot.
on.
I remember growing up as a kid, so Gummy Bear Show was pretty, like, outdated by the time.
It was pretty much over by the time you were born.
Yes, but I remember when, like, everyone was asleep and I couldn't sleep, I would sneak out in the living room and watch late-night Disney Channel shows, and Gummy Bears was one of them.
Interesting.
Oh, this was back when Disney Channel had, like, Vault Disney?
Yes.
Oh, Walt Disney. Yeah, I remember
Yes.
that. Okay.
That was the first time I saw Humphrey the Bear.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Alright, so what shows don't hold up? Like I mentioned, Winnie the Pooh, and one that disappointed me was Tailspin. I loved it growing up, but as I watch it, I go, Baloo is a horrible role model.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, you get a little bit in the Jungle Book, but like he does what's right. And he does that sort of in the show, but I really don't like his
He's a
work
very lazy bear.
and so I was very disappointed with it. I thought the stories were better. They don't hold up for me.
Do you remember the Jungle Book, like, prequel series where they had, like, all the Jungle Book characters, but they were like cubs?
No,
and, like,
not at all.
Oh man, I remember that. It was.
Okay.
I was interested to see if you remembered that show or not.
No. So what didn't hold up for you?
Timon and Pumbaa.
I actually started enjoying that lately.
No, I just said
Timon's a jerk.
Yes.
Yes.
Timon is
He's a
absolutely
huge jerk.
I just watched it and like I just didn't get into the whole like random situations that they would be put in. Okay, we're on an island now. Now we're up in Alaska. Now we're in
Russia.
Yeah, like it was just kind
I like the geography aspect of it.
I just didn't get like into it in that sense. It just I don't know, I just couldn't find myself enjoying it. I remember really enjoying that one as a kid. Laughing at it, I just couldn't get into it so much as an adult.
Mine is Doug.
That's fair.
I understand.
The voices are a little annoying to me. Yes. Skeeter or whatever. Yeah.
Roger's character is the one I probably enjoy the most.
Hey, Roger!
And I felt like the storylines were a little bit all over the place.
It's a tame Boy Meets World.
Yeah, it is.
So I just didn't connect with it, and I couldn't even get through an entire episode.
I can understand that. Alright, what characters do you enjoy the most? I enjoy Darkwing Duck for his witty lines. Let's get dangerous. I am the terror that flaps in the night, and whatever follows afterwards. I always look for like those little nuggets he does. We mentioned Icarus for me.
Yeah.
And then Goliath, his leadership, the
Goliath,
strong.
absolutely.
If there was ever a role model, Goliath is the one.
Absolutely, he's definitely a character from Gargoyles. Absolutely.
Winnie the Pooh, he just has those, like, certain, like, little peaks of, like, simple advice in the world, and you're just like, I needed that as an adult.
It's good. It's really, a woman was like, wow, that was profound.
Yes. And then I love Ron Possible, because in, like, the show Kim Possible, you've got, like, the perfect girl, Kim Possible, and then you've got Ron, who's just a total klutz, but still doing the right thing and able to, like, keep up, and I'm like, that's me. I relate.
Where's my naked mole rat?
Like, I mean, I like TJ from Recess.
Oh,
good
yes.
character.
Such a great character.
Such a good
The best friend
leader.
episode's a good one. He has to
Absolutely.
pick his best friend.
Yes.
Yes.
And he's
I love the
torn.
kissing episode.
Yes.
The kissing episode, yeah. I like his character. I really enjoy Goliath. He was up there on my top list here. And as much as Jackie doesn't like it, I like Doug.
All right, now we're on to catchiest intro song. What do you got, Peter?
Well, I've got two.
All right, what two?
I've got two.
You don't have to sing it.
We've got the new adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
It's good.
Even before Disney Plus came out, I was singing that song. Time to wake up, time to get going.
I can see you singing that to your kids. in the morning.
Absolutely, I do. That one, and then Quack Pack. I'm going back to Quack Pack. Like that's it. That intro song is so fun. Quack, 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 Quack Pack. Ba, ba, ba. Oh, it's so fun.
Oh, wow, okay.
I would say like DuckTales is such a catchy one.
I'm with you, Jackie.
Everyone knows the DuckTales.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, laser airplanes. It's a duck blur. Matsuba mystery. Oh, rewrite history. DuckTales. Woo! Yes, the woo-hoo just pulls you in.
It
They
pulls
repeat the
you in.
chorus over and over, but that first section just like it sets the tone for the whole show, and
Sure.
like it's probably the best aspect to the
Like
show.
I bet you could literally like sing that in the grocery store, and then someone would go woo.
It is. It has that effect, and I have to say the '90s like intro songs are so good, and like you hear these people singing for their like career in these songs. They have such like power to them. I think like or conviction. Like it's good. All right. What intros were skippable for song wise?
Gargoyles.
That's so dramatic.
Like, yeah, but like, you just, it's easy to be like, okay,
Next.
next.
What about you, Jackie?
Kim Possible's intro is really whiny.
What? Oh, I like that intro. That's a good one. I like that
I
one.
don't know, the singer I didn't really care for, but
So I'm going to mention a show we haven't mentioned, which is The Little Mermaid.
oh, I love the Little Mermaid
Yeah.
cartoon.
I
yeah.
hate the intro. It's a mashup of all the songs.
Yeah.
There's nothing creative. It's like, okay, we're going to make this show, The Little Mermaids. We're going to get all the girls into cartoons.
Yeah.
And I think it's flat. And even the show, I think, is very flat.
It's true. Watching as an adult, it's not as enjoyable as it was as a kid.
I see why it didn't receive the success, because it was kind of a flat project. And then Bonkers is...
Oh, yeah.
That
Bonkers.
intro.
Oh, Bonkers overall was just terrible.
Yes. And that brings me to the next. Which show would you throw back into the vault and throw away the keys to never see?
And it's Bonkers.
Bonkers.
Bonkers, hands down.
Like, why did it last so long?
So bad.
It's horrible.
Well, it's interesting that, like, the history of that show was about, was supposed to be about Roger Rabbit.
Yes.
It was supposed to be about Roger Rabbit, but I think it was a rights issue. And,
That's how I have a feeling too, and they kind of just put them in there. Like I said, my thought was like, Roger Rabbit's a knockoff. And he plays this greedy cop.
You mean Bonkers?
Bonkers, yes. Bonkers is, he's playing this greedy cop to Lucky Pickle. That's right, yeah, Pickle. And he's just this jaded, burnout cop that you just, as an adult, I look at him and it's like, I would fire, I hate you. Like, you whine about your career, and you're like, you're gonna get me fired, but when you have the opportunity to speak to the chief, you just kind of like wimp out. And it's like, yeah, you suck because of yourself, not because of Bonkers. And just the show's just not hooked me at all. I hate it. It's Sunday and it
I
turns
remember
on.
watching that show all the time
Right.
and enjoying it, but I can't get into it.
It's like, I don't think I enjoyed it that much, but it was one that I was like, I'm just like, why did this, like, what point did it get better? All right, last question. What would you really like to see Disney Plus bring to streaming? What would you like? For me, bring Aladdin.
Yep. Aladdin. That's a big one.
I love Dave the Barbarian.
Dave
the Barbarian. That's a Disney Channel show that I think lasted like a season. And
It didn't
I think
last
it,
long.
more.
it did like 2 or something.
Yeah, but
It was.
so
I felt
good.
like it was a underrated show. Like I felt nobody knows who Dave the Barbarian is. So if you get a chance, like go back.
There's some
Find
YouTube shows.
YouTube
Yes.
recording of it. It was very enjoyable about these caveman family and them running this.
Kind of dark age, kind of
Yeah.
Yes.
royalty.
And so yeah, it's very enjoyable. So
Another one is Pepper Ann for me.
Oh,
Bring it
yeah.
back. I think I just want to have a chance to watch it to see if it holds up. But
Yeah.
the intro was fun.
The intro's great.
It was like Girl Doug. That's what I
Yes.
felt like.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think Pepper Ann was Girl Doug.
Yes.
So if you're a girl and you don't like Doug, I think you probably
I
would enjoy
did
Pepper
love
Ann.
Pepper Ann.
There we go. So maybe we would have had a different outcome with that. And so with that concludes our Saturday cartoon or after school cartoon nostalgia trip. Now it's time to grow up and face the music. And so thank you for joining us in this podcast. Please follow us on our social media. We have Instagram and Facebook at Matterhorn Yodelers.
Mhm.
And is there anything else?
Email.
Email us.
Email us.
Please
we
do.
want to chat.
Yes.
MatterhornYodlers@gmail.com.
Yeah, let us know what you thought. What are some of your favorite cartoons that you grew up with, or ones that you didn't care for, or maybe you think our opinions are garbage and yours are better. Let us know.
Let us know. We want to know what you think. So,
All right. Until next time. Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
bye.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember,
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.